Good evening and welcome to the news roundup for Thursday, June 1. Before we get into the news, please remember to like this video, share your views in the comments, and share the video with your family and friends.
Teach them! Always make sure the message reach them!
Now for the news in detail. Davian Bryan, the serial rapist who abducted 3 girls in St. Thomas last year, has been sentenced to 23 years in prison. Last week, Bryan pleaded guilty to 12 counts of rape, grievous sexual assault, and forcible abduction. The charges include multiple counts of rape, forcible abduction, indecent assault, and 1 count of grievous sexual assault. The judge sentenced him to a minimum of 8 years and a maximum of 23 years on all counts, with a requirement to serve 16 years before being eligible for parole. Bryan's name will also be entered into the sex offender registry. He was arrested in March in Portland for abduction and rape of a woman and was subsequently charged by the St. Thomas Police in April. The Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Investigations Branch CTOC is set to investigate the leak of the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate CSEC Mathematics Paper 2 examination. The Caribbean Examinations Council CXC initially identified Jamaica as a source of the breach, despite earlier claims that it occurred in Guyana. The Ministry of Education is currently unable to comment on the matter, but the Overseas Examinations Commission is expected to provide an update soon. It is anticipated that CTOC will be called in to investigate the leak and determine its source. CXC has decided that candidates will not be required to resit the exam, and a modified approach will be used to determine final grades. Usain Bolt has obtained a court order for 2 banks to disclose the transaction history of accounts owned by Gene Panton, the only person charged in the $3 billion fraud at Stocks and Securities Limited SSL. The order was granted by Supreme Court Justice Kerencia Brown-Beckford. Bolt's holding company Welgen had an account at SSL and its value significantly declined from $2 billion to $12,000 when it was checked in January. Welgen's case is being heard alongside a suit filed by investor Gene Ford, who alleges being defrauded of US $830,000. The matters will have a next hearing day in October of 2023, and SSL is seeking to put Welgen's case on hold until a separate case involving the appointment of an SSL trustee is resolved. SSL and the trustee are appealing an interim injunction granted by the court, while Hugh Croskery, SSL's founder, refutes an assertion made by Panton regarding an alleged offer made by him. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has responded to criticism and rumors surrounding the government's establishment of new banknotes and a digital currency. He dismissed claims of a new world order and called such criticism stupidness. Holness emphasized that the government has no intention of removing cash from the system and highlighted the convenience and the benefits of digital technology. He urged Jamaicans to embrace technology and focus on strengthening laws to protect customer rights. The Prime Minister cited examples from other countries such as Kenya, where digital payments have been successful. The Jamaican government has launched its own digital currency, Jamdex, and various entities are preparing to launch digital wallets. Some critics have accused the government of contributing to a new world order, but Holness dismissed the claims as baseless. A male vendor who sold cellular phone accessories at the Montego Bay Transport Center in St. James was discovered dead inside a shop at the People's Arcade, where he reportedly resides. The victim has been identified as Llewellyn Housen, otherwise called Indian or Brown Man of a racecourse address in Trelawney. It is reported that about 3 a.m., residents heard gunshots coming from a section of the People's Arcade and alerted the Barnett Street police. On arrival of the lawmen, Housen was discovered partially nude, lying in his bed with a single gunshot wound to his head. The room was also ransacked. A suspected case of arson occurred at the Linstead Market in St. Catherine, resulting in the destruction of 2 stalls and the loss of goods. One vendor expressed their devastation upon discovering that everything had been burnt. The incident occurred around 4 a.m. and the police and fire department responded to extinguish the fire. An investigation into the incident has been initiated by the Linstead Police. The attorney for Jason Grant, the alleged mastermind behind the $160 million fraud at a separate group of companies, complained that his client's constitutional rights were being breached after the bail hearing was postponed. Grant's 24 co-accused have been granted station bail in the amount of $400,000. However, Grant was denied bail due to concerns of absconding and interfering with witnesses. The bail application was delayed as prosecutors needed time to familiarize themselves with the case. A new date of July 16 was suggested, but Grant's lawyer requested an earlier date, which was denied. The co-accused had their bail extended, and conditions such as surrendering travel documents and reporting to the police will be considered. Defense attorneys argued that conditions should be based on the circumstances of each accused individual. The accused are facing charges including conspiracy to defraud, embezzlement, and access with intent to commit an offense. The alleged fraud is believed to have started after a fire at Separat's warehouse and offices, resulting in losses of over $1 billion. Nigel Jones, the attorney for Government Minister Xavier Mean, defended the millions of dollars paid to his client by the Factories Corporation of Jamaica (FCJ) in a land acquisition deal in 2011. The payment has been deemed irregular and a conflict of interest by the Integrity Commission. Mean and another attorney, Robert Ramsey, were engaged by the FCJ to act as attorneys in the land acquisition deal, but their contracts were terminated prematurely. Mean's lawyer argues that the fees paid were justifiable and denies any wrongdoing or conflict of interest. The Integrity Commission's report also highlighted the failure of the FCJ's board members to exercise due care and diligence. A probe has been launched by the Major Investigation Division into the shooting deaths of two men in Roehampton, St. James. The victims, identified as Tavar Doman and Linston Anderson, were at home when armed men forcefully entered the house and shot them multiple times. The police arrived at the scene after being alerted and found the two men with gunshot wounds. They were taken to the hospital but were pronounced dead. This incident marks the third murder in the Roehampton community since the start of the week. Andrea Hansen, a female law student from retirement in St. James, was shot and killed. Reports are that around 7:30 p.m., while at the car wash she operated with her boyfriend along the Tucker Main Road, a motor vehicle arrived and two armed men got out and approached Hansen. They opened fire, hitting her as she sought refuge inside her vehicle. However, the men pursued her and shot her multiple times. The gunmen fled the scene in the waiting car. The police were called and Hansen was rushed to hospital where she was pronounced dead. In business, the Bank of Jamaica is actively working on strategies to enable deposit portability, allowing individuals to easily move their accounts from one bank to another. This initiative aims to provide flexibility for both bank and unbanked individuals to choose the banking services that best meet their needs. The goal is for all standing instructions, including direct debits and credit cards, to remain intact during the account transfer process without the complexities of account opening procedures and the Know Your Customer requirements. Robert Stennett, Deputy Governor of the Bank of Jamaica, emphasized that deposit portability has the potential to revolutionize banking in Jamaica. The BOJ is currently exploring the necessary measures, including legal amendments and customer awareness campaigns, to make deposit portability a reality, although it acknowledged that this will be a long-term effort. In the region, a fire destroyed a dormitory in Karasabi, Rupununa Region 9, Guyana, early on Thursday morning. There have been no reports of injuries so far, and the cause of the fire is yet to be determined. This incident comes after a tragic fire last month at the Madia Secondary School's female dormitory, which resulted in the death of 20 students. A 15-year-old student has been charged with murder in relation to the arson case. On the international scene, a group of over 350 AI experts and executives, including OpenAI CEO Sam Altman and the AI pioneer Geoffrey Hinton, has issued a joint statement expressing concerns about the risk of extinction posed by artificial intelligence. The statement, organized by the non-profit Center for AI Safety, emphasizes the need for a global prioritization in mitigating the potential risks associated with AI. These risks include the spread of misinformation, economic disruption due to job loss, and even direct threats to humanity. The recent incident involving an AI-generated fake image causing a stock market sell-off serves as an example of these risks. And in sports, Jamaican sprinter Oblique Seville and Akeem Blake, along with American 400 hurdle star Delilah Muhammad, have withdrawn from the Racers Grand Prix. Despite the withdrawals, the meet is set to feature top local and international athletes. Noah Lyles, Christian Coleman, Toby Amusan, and Wade Van Niekerk are among the notable overseas participants. Jamaican athletes Sherika Jackson, Ansel Parchment, Tajay Gale, Megan Tapper, and Shanika Ricketts will also be competing. And that is it for your news roundup for today. We would appreciate you liking this video, leaving a comment, and sharing the video with your family and friends. Have a good evening and see you next time.
Thank you for watching. Like the video before you go. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. And remember to share the video with your friends and family. And browse the channel for more quality content. Until next time, walk good, my friends.
Teach them!